This is part 2 of the video on area and perimeter of rhombi and trapezoids. And so now we're going to look at trapezoids. So the formula for area of a trapezoid is base 1 plus base 2 in parentheses times the height divided by 2. And the perimeters, you add up all the sides. So you add up, base 1 plus base 2 plus side or leg or side 1 plus side 2. In other words, you're just going to add up all the sides of your trapezoid. Okay, now keep in mind this H, this height, this is the one we have to be careful of. We need a height and it needs to be perpendicular to one of the bases. And so usually we see it drawn right there, but what you want to keep in mind is that sometimes they can be drawn in a different orientation, and so we'll certainly see an example of that. But it has to be perpendicular to one of the bases, okay? So let's go ahead and scroll down to our first example. Okay, here everything's given to us nicely. We have one of the bases is 12. We have one of the bases is 8. We have a height of 7. So we can just do 12 base 1 plus base 2 times our height divided by 2. 12 plus 8 is 20, so that gives us 20 times 7 divided by 2, or 70. Okay, that one's pretty straightforward. Let's scroll and see what they give us next. I already see exact and approximate. Okay, and I see a 30-degree angle and a 90-degree angle. So you've got to go back to 30, 60, 90s. Okay, so in this picture, the measurement that they give us, let me go ahead and write it on here for you, is we have x to the square root of 3, and 2x. So they give us that 2x is equal to 8. So that's going to make x 4. Okay. So we have one base is 15. We're missing this base right here. But since we know that this part is 4, here's something else that they gave us here. They showed us that these sides are the same. So if that's 8 and that's 8. And so hopefully you remember that that is called an isosceles trapezoid. So when you have an isosceles trapezoid, there will be another triangle that we could draw here that would be congruent to this triangle. So we have this triangle and we have this triangle. So now, let me go back. So if we already found this measurement to be 4, this one would also be 4. So to find this top measurement here, it's just 15 minus this 4 and minus this 4. So 15 minus 8 is 7. Now I think we have all the measurements we need. Well, we're going to need the height, and the height is x to the square root of 3, but x is 4, so it's going to be 4 to the square root of 3. So now I think we got everything. Base 1, 15, base 2, 7, height 4 to the square root of 3. So the area, I'll come back to the approximate. The area is base 1 plus base 2 times our height divided by 2. 15 plus 7 is 22 times 4 to the square root of 3 divided by 2. Remember, just kind of leave this alone because treat it like a radical. So this is just 22 times 4 divided by 2. So that would be 44, I hope I did that right, to the square root of 3. Okay, and so let's go ahead and do the perimeter. We're going to add 15, 7, 8, and 8. I use my calculator. I got 38. Okay, and then just go back and fill in the approximate height is 4 times the square root of 3 is 6.9. And 44 times the square root of 3 is 76.2. Okay, so I bet there's a quick check here. So let me clear this, pause it if you need to, and see if you can do the quick check. So please pause here and try and do this one yourself. Okay, I have all the pertinent information here on the picture, so let's see if you've got this. What I did is we had 2x is 10, because it's across from 90, so that would have made x 5. Let me get a different color. So x is 5, and x is square root of 3. And remember, we have two congruent triangles, one here when we have an isosceles trapezoid. So there's this 5 is here as well as here, and then this measurement down here is 12, and so the entire base here is 22. Okay, so we have a base of 12, we have a base of 22, we have a height of 5 to the square root of 3. So base 1 plus base 2 times our height divided by 2. 22, 34 times 5 to the square root of 3 divided by 2. So 34, I get 85 square root of 3. Okay, and then the perimeter is 22 plus 10 plus 12 plus 10. 22, 32, 42, 54. And then the approximates are 5 times the square root of 3, 8.7. That's a point. And 85 times the square root of 3. Sorry, I messed up. 85 square root of 3 is 147.2. Let's see what's next. Okay, this is also a trapezoid, and so some people want to do this different. I see a rectangle and a triangle, and so, I mean, some people want to find the area of one, the area of the other, and add them together, and if you were just asked for the area, that's perfectly fine. That is a composite figure. You could do it that way, but we're going to do this as a trapezoid. It does have two parallel bases, and so and then the sides, so we can do it that way because we have a height drawn. So let's see, this is 13. All right, and then what else do we need? We have one base is 13. Seems like something's missing here. We know that these two are the same, but we do not know what the top is, and we don't know what the side is. I think something's missing here. So let me go ahead and give you something. Let's say that this is 3. Okay. So we need something. So if that is 3, then we can find the other base up here. This is also 3. Okay. So that's going to make 13 minus 3. That's going to make this base 10. Okay. So the height is 3. So the area is base times height. Base plus base times the height divided by 2. So we get 23 times 3 divided by 2. (23) times 3 divided by 2. 34.5. Now the perimeter, so you have to add up going all the way around. So this is also 3. The measurement we need is this one right here. And so what kind of a triangle? Hopefully you recognize this is a right triangle that's isosceles, which makes it a 45, 45, 90. So that means this would be 3 to the square root of 2. So the perimeter, you add up 10, 3, and 13, and you get 26. I'm going to have to just write it. I'm going to write this right here. You get 26 plus 3 to the square root of 2, because you cannot add those together. Now, approximately 26 plus 3 to the square root of 2 is 30.2. There you go. So that is the approximate perimeter. All right. How many more do we have? Oh, we have quite a few more. Okay, so we're not going to finish all this in one day. So here, if this side is 3, I hope you remember that this side is going to be 1.5 to the square root of 2.